People around here trust the shepherds. Jamie, Adam, and the other Jamie. They always have. The sheep trust them too. Gather round. I'll throw another log on the fire and turn it up just a touch, cause another episode of the BHHcast is starting now.
Sheep.
Welcome back, sheep.
It is the BHHcast, brand new episode. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hernan, and Adam. Hey.
Hi, guys.
How we doing, fellas?
Doing great.
Let's explain the fact that this is the first episode where we are a two-legged tripod in studio. Adam not with us because he's not with us.
Doing the responsible thing and isolating myself because I may have had some direct exposure to a pandemic.
To the cocoa.
Yeah.
All right, but you're healthy, you're safe, everything's fine?
Absolutely. What we've done is my son, who did test positive, we have him in complete solitary. We are now using the Jack and Jill bathroom between his room and his brother's as the airlock. We bring food in there. We then leave the room. He then comes in and picks up the food and leaves. Then we completely douse the place with Lysol. It's time to rebrand Jack and Jill's after this pandemic as not Jack and Jill bathrooms, but possible airlocks in the event of a pandemic.
When you go to bring the food, is he like rattling a mug against the door?
Oh, unfortunately, he has gotten into ringing a bell for his mother.
And nobody else got it? Nobody else in the family?
Nope, we've all tested, we're all clear, and we're all trying to keep it that way.
So here's the thing that I find interesting about saying if you haven't shown any symptoms, then you probably don't have it.
For
right?
an asymptomatic, for a virus.
For a virus that's asymptomatic.
Right.
To be like, so the gas is odorless, but if you're not smelling any gas, you probably don't have a leak.
Right.
Right? Like, it's like, well, hold on a second. Something seemingly is lost in the transaction.
But when you think about it, what's the alternative, right? Is that you get people that are always testing themselves, even though they don't feel sick. So I'm remote, so I will try and take care of the sheep remotely today.
It's a little wonky.
So yeah, it's a little wonky, but we're muscling through it.
And you've connected in through Zoom with video off. Why is your video off?
I'm not wearing pants.
Well, what's different about that?
I usually wear pants in studio. Right now, I'm not.
So Hank Denson's on the show. He's terrific. He'll be very funny. He creates a ton of content. It's very funny. And so I think after the interview, I'm going to guess that people are going to want to go learn more about Hank. That's my prediction. But
yeah, great guy.
To the extent that it's somewhat maybe footwear oriented, if you had to pick one kind of shoe, like do you have a go-to shoe that you prefer?
So I like when I get shoes for free in swag bags.
Do you ever get shoes for free in swag bags?
Not. You see, I've gotten a lot of feedback about a previous episode where you corrected me on the swag.
Yeah. Recently, there is no, I was unaware of, there was a thing called swag.
Well, apparently there isn't. And I've been not only reminded of it once, but our listeners have done a pretty good job of reminding me of it almost every minute of every day.
Okay.
Good thing you brought it up again.
Yeah. The
sheep, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, sheep. I made a mistake. It's not swag.
Not swag.
I actually have one pair of sneakers that's my go-to. It's just my comfortable sneakers. And I'm wearing them now. And I also was wearing them gardening in the garden this weekend. And if you look at them, you can tell that I was gardening in them this weekend. Yeah.
You've got a weird opinion of interesting. That's interesting?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's saying he's a single sneaker guy.
I just wear these out when they're worn out.
I definitely, so my shoes have jobs. Shoes have jobs. So the shoe that
that's a basketball shoe. That's a running shoe. I have a gardening shoe.
That's right. I wore Converse high tops to prom when I was in high school one time.
Very cool.
But that's the only time in my life I have worn high tops not on the basketball court. Like I have never had as my primary casual shoe a high top sneaker.
So if you wear a shoe out of its normal use or place, do bad things happen?
I think I just feel self-conscious that these are not the shoes for the circumstance.
It's not the correct shoe.
Yeah. But it's definitely a hierarchy. These are my good, quote unquote, sneakers. Then there are the gym / more casual sneakers. And then there is yard work sneakers.
So when you turn the light off in the closet at night, do you think there's trash talk going on there between your shoes?
Oh, if sneakers could communicate, they would definitely know the way
the gardening sneaker would be definitely the beatdown sneaker of them all, right?
Well, but they're usually 3 different versions of the same sneaker. So it's one starts out, it's like you kind of get pushed out to pasture. So at one time, the gardening sneaker was...
You're one step away from Goodwill
sneaker.
if you're a gardener.
Yeah, although in fairness, I've never brought used sneakers for donation.
Okay, because you're using them to the point where they're probably not worthwhile.
Right.
And he hates charities.
Well,
some big accusations being thrown around.
I actually have in my car right now, I have a pair of dress shoes that need to go to donation, and I have a pair of cowboy boots.
You're a big cowboy boot guy, though.
I love the boots. I
don't think I've ever worn cowboy boots.
I think if you got a good pair of cowboy boots, it would change your life. Change your life.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I've never worn them, but I think if I did wear them, I would find myself gardening in them.
I'm going to go so far as to say the cowboy boot is the Swiss Army knife of footwear. They can be utilized for work, they can be utilized for play, and they can be dressed up to be formal. It is a complete shoe for all circumstances.
You heard it here first, Sheep.
I know you're skeptics because neither one of you have a pair of cowboy boots. I think cowboy boots. I think you got to go cowboy boots.
Okay, we'll try them. Maybe that's something I'll explore. Right now, I'm cowboy out.
You're cowboyed out.
Yeah, no cowboy boots.
All right. So what's your?
Not even if it's buy 2 get 1 free like it is in Nashville.
But are you like you what? Are you a Docksiders guy? Are you a boat shoe wearer? Are you Johnny Flip Flops? What's Adam?
Yeah,
what's Adam's
I
preferred
do like
footwear?
a flip flop. I'm a flip flop anytime in the summer, and I know you think that's disgusting, but I am. And judge me as you will.
I will judge you. You're an animal.
And then I'm mostly just a basic sneaker guy. So kind of like a Vans, if you will, during the when I'm wearing a sneaker around Atlanta. All right. So who's our guest? Oh, we talked about
our guest. Have you been paying attention in the thing? Just go right to the guest.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Yeah, but Jamie hasn't disclosed what he actually wears on his feet.
Oh.
One pair of sneakers.
Are you an athletic sneaker guy? Dress shoes. Are you wingtip, cap toe, loafer? What's your?
I'm just a black lace up, slip on. I don't really go for the like the penny loafers or anything like that.
No flourish. Do you wear dress shoes, Adam?
Oh yeah, I like dress shoes. I wear for work. I wear dress shoes.
And what
kind of pandemic? I'm not so much, but I'm an Allen Edmonds loafer.
Loafer.
Yeah.
Lace up or just straight loafer?
I'm actually a lace up. Sorry.
Okay. Did you ever have the traditional penny loafer? Did you ever have a penny?
I did. Loafers? That was my uniform in high school. We had to wear the penny loafers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that if you found a pair from when you were wearing penny loafers for school, that maybe any of those pennies were old pennies and now have significant value?
I actually only put wheat pennies into my penny loafers.
Really?
So I think that at least the penny loafer is a little bit more value now.
Yeah. Did you have the wheat? I remember how amazing it was to find a wheat penny.
Yep. That was my determination for penny loafer status. Was if you were a wheat penny, that's how you made yourself into penny loafer status. Otherwise, the loafers went without pennies.
Interesting. Now, is that kind of a peer pressure thing within school?
No, I think it was just a kind of a weird ritual, some people knock on doors 7 times before they enter. Mm-hmm. I wore wheat pennies in my penny loafers.
All right. So we have Hank Denson coming up in just a bit here. This is the BHHcast. Settle in. I'd kind of like to know what you have on your feet. I'm curious about how people utilize their sneakers.
Let us know, Sheep.
How many pairs of sneakers do you have? Real question. How many pairs of sneakers do you have?
I have one pair of sneakers.
You have
how many
literally
times are you
one
going to
pair
make
of
me
sneakers.
say that?
If I went to your house after this show, we could go into your house and there's going to be one pair that fits your feet?
Yes.
I find that impossible to believe.
That's all I need.
But you're in what happens to the old pair? It's as soon as you get a new pair, the old pair goes?
Yes, because I've worn it to the point where I can see my feet.
All right, we'll be back, Sheep Podcast. Stay tuned. All right, it is the Barcast. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hernan, Adam Haig.
Hey, sheep.
We
Did
are.
you just say Haig sheep?
No, I said hey, sheep. But if you want, we can brand them all Haig. I think that makes sense.
All right. Anyway, our guest this evening, I actually think we're going to be able to learn something from. Because they had an experience that most of us have not and turned it into something that was very positive in the stream of a long line of professional successes. Our guest this evening is comedian Hank Denson. Hank, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, burr, burr, burr. I don't know what that was. I use it. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. That's what I needed. I needed a higher pitch. You hit it right on the nail. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's good to have you, Hank. I watched a new show. You know how everybody's looking for new content?
Yeah.
I watched a show that is available on Local Now, I think is what the station is called. And it's like what you would have on a Fire Stick as an option. And they have a program called Fat Guys in the Woods.
Fat Guys in the Woods?
Fat Guys in the Woods. And they take...
I got to see that one.
Oh, no. They take 3 fat guys and they put them in the woods with a survivalist who teaches them how to change their lives.
Is the survivalist fat?
The survivalist, not fat. But you know what he does wear, which I never saw? A sleeveless turtleneck sweater.
I got one of those.
Oh, no, not like this, Hank. Whatever sweater you have, it is unlike the sweater that this guy was wearing.
I'm trying to see what the bigger pull is for me because Fat Guys in the Woods sounds interesting, but that sleeveless turtleneck sweater, that might be what really gets me to check it out.
Oh, you should, because the survivalist guy has a website and you can buy merch. He does not. He sells the kerchiefs that he wears.
Does he sell the turtleneck?
He does not sell the turtleneck.
Now this is not a wool turtleneck. This is not a wool. This God bless. Just forget the question.
It is not a wool turtleneck.
Is this a wool?
It is not a wool.
Is this a wool turtleneck?
No.
Is this a?
You should just stop. It is not a
The word
wool.
is, stop
turtleneck.
hurting. It
Hold on.
looks like you're having a seizure over
Just
there.
hold on.
Can you say wool?
I'll fix it. Wool turtleneck. Is this
There you
a
go.
wool turtle? Hank, I'm sorry.
You
It
can
is.
just say a turtleneck made out of wool.
There. Is this a turtleneck made out of wool?
It is
Wow.
not a turtleneck made out of wool.
Hank, can you be my life coach?
Yeah, it is.
You fixed me.
Knit out of some fabric, some material, threaded, presumably. But anyway,
Nothing that's going to offend our sheep, though.
in
right?
the very first episode that we watched,
We as in who?
me and some other people, the guy says the sun is setting and they need to make fire. And so he says, I have brought with me our fire making device. And you know what he pulls out? A sleeve of condoms.
What did you say?
A sleeve, like a, like they're raffle tickets of condoms.
Like if you had gone to
Really?
a strange amusement park.
The world's weirdest skee ball machine.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
it was,
Trojan?
Yeah.
Like Trojan,
Yeah.
Magnum?
Yep.
Like,
Uh-huh.
wow.
Yeah.
I got to hear this.
Okay, so now
Let's get some heat.
Okay, right. And
How nervous do you think those guys got?
okay, so
It's like
okay. So
some guy in a
now,
sleeveless turtleneck whips out an old chain of condoms.
And we're gonna
all the
make
fat
fire.
Guys are like, oh my God.
okay.
Hey, but with
So-
fire, it's always important. Safety first.
So there is some skepticism among the men about what's about to happen. He says, what we're going to do is inflate these and fill them with water and basically turn it into a magnifying glass. So now that's what happens.
Did one of the guys say, why didn't you just bring a magnifying glass?
They didn't say that, or they cut that portion of the episode out. So there is some footage of one of the guys now making balloon animals out of one of these condoms. And it occurred to me that this survivalist, in terms of having people change their lives, uses shame as a motivator. But as it turns out, you can make fire that way.
You can? He really made a fire?
They made fire that way. So you basically...
See,
I'm magnifying the
awesome.
sun through a condom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome because you get to think about it. Okay, I'm a married guy. I don't know about you guys. No, Jamie's married. But listen, what other way will we have condoms on as married men but to save the family in case of emergency?
Right.
Or,
yes. Like,
or more...
Baby,
yeah.
This is not... No. I'm not stepping out on you. It's just I got to protect the family. I got to be ready.
Like, yo, hey, look, I keep them in case power goes out and that happens, and we need it. It is still in the pack. There's still 3 in here.
Yeah.
And in case there's a fire, I saw it on TV. Man, that's good.
I actually learned that through the majority of high school, I was a survivalist.
You would go. Not really, because how many did you need? When I was in high school, I only had one. That was it.
And as it turns out, I was never stranded in the woods.
I only had one.
I never needed to make fire.
I had a trusty. Yeah.
So anyway, I recommend if you're ever looking for something that's worth binging or cringing. Maybe that's what we should call when a show is terrible, but you watch all the episodes anyway.
Cringe watching?
I cringe watched.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Cringe watch. That's it. I mean, God, this is exciting, dude. I got to watch this show. One, I got to see this turtleneck.
You got to see the guy.
I'm sure it's a polyester blend, though.
Yeah. No, this, it's something. It's something.
So these guys have to leave this instructor guy
mm-hmm.
and survive by themselves at night.
Yep.
And a camera crew is following them.
Yep.
This is dumb.
Yeah, it sounds like Outward Bound for Chubbos.
The cameraman is getting his ass kicked, and I'm taking his snacks off.
We've gotten far afield. Kind of give our listeners an overview of the variety of content that you're creating these days. You create a tremendous amount of content.
Who, me?
You.
I do?
I think you do. You have several characters that you incorporate into your Instagram.
Yeah, I do. If I think about it, yes.
Yeah.
There's a janitor guy. My son's the Henrys. I'm doing a show called That's a Damn Deal.
All right. And then you've got your sneaker podcast.
Sneaker podcast on Sneakers Unplugged. And basically it's the trends and the culture of sneakers.
So how do you think that became such a big thing? Why do you think sneakers became such a collectible thing?
Rap music, hip-hop. Rappers was wearing shoes that were ridiculously priced. And if you want to be like that rapper, all the athletes, no one cares about their sneakers.
So who's the market for that? So as I thought about the sneaker market, I always thought it was, guys who are now in their 40s who, when they were in high school, wanted that pair of Jordans but couldn't get it. And now they finally have some disposable income and they're creating collections. Is that not, because that wouldn't be the rappers. Who's going after those sneakers? Who's buying these? If I had the opportunity to go buy some, first edition Jordans or even second edition Jordan, not just because of the value of them, just because it was something I wanted when I was a kid that I now have the income to afford.
Yeah.
Are there any comedians that could pull off having a sneaker line?
Yeah. Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle.
Absolutely.
Bill Burr probably could do it too. Some people only believe in the shoes and the clothing when they were at their best as a person. So if you ever see dudes, you'd be like, why is he still wearing that? Because in 87, that was when he slept with Jared Jensen. She was the hottest cheerleader. When he had a Corvette, and that was his look. And they're stuck there.
So listen, my understanding, and this is no joke, I think people could probably go look it up, that is almost to the T, the clothing philosophy of the stacks of stuff that you find at Costco.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? That for the boomer who walks into the Costco, they cannot believe that they can get a polo shirt for $6.
Right. Suede Pumas were $23.
Right?
I can't believe it.
I
saw a dude buying 3 pair of Suede Pumas. And they weren't the original ones, but he was so excited that he was getting some tilapia and a sockeye salmon and suede pumas. It was the best day of his life.
Which, by the way, I think tilapia technically is the suede puma of fish.
I don't eat it. It's not a real fish.
That's what I mean.
So it's more or less like the K-Swiss or it's like the LA Gear of fish.
In your sneaker collection, what is the pièce de résistance? What is the top? What's the walking your daughter down the aisle sneaker?
Wow. I've asked that question before. I have the Jordan 1.
Yeah.
The original Jordan 1 with the original colorway. And the thing is, I don't collect them. I actually just like a shoe, and I actually bought. What happened is I bought them when sneakers weren't a big deal. When everybody wasn't doing all this reselling and all that, I was buying sneakers that I liked. And come to find out, when they started remaking them, I had to collect them in the sneakers that they weren't remaking. So I found out that I sold like maybe 2 pair, maybe like 4 years ago for some money. I was like, wow, I can't believe that dude wants to buy these. And he was more excited about me having the box, the original box, than anything else. Because he was like, oh, that's crazy. Like it has the date on it they were made. And I was like, yeah, that's great. So just give him my money.
If you had to pick a college player right now that you were going to speculate and say when they get a sneaker with their name on it that might have some value in the future, who would you buy the pair of?
College kids is we don't even look at them like that. Damn, nobody wants Zion Williamson's shoe. Nobody wants his shoe.
Especially
nobody's
his shoe.
Looking at Nobody's looking at a college dude. Nobody wants any college dude, or you don't even first see them because they're not in the conversation.
Let me rephrase that question then. If you had to pick a social influencer that was a reasonable buy if somebody was new to the collecting, what would be a good example of a reasonably priced shoe now that you'd have good predictability on increased value in the future?
I would say LaMelo Ball, the last Ball, the youngest one. Mm-hmm. I think if he made a shoe in the future, because he's going to dominate the NBA, I think he would be the dude that everybody would want his shoe, and it would be worth a lot of money because they failed so bad with their own
with
shoe.
The big baller.
Yep. So whoever picks them up is going to be like, we made the right shoe, and this is the shoe you want.
All right, so let's move on to the because we really technically have diverted from our normal episode structure. Meat and Three restaurant, cafeteria style, entree, 3 sides, predominate in the South, right? You're familiar with those? Cafeteria style. You go in, you pick a meat, you get your 3 sides, right?
You want me to name them?
No.
Oh.
In the analogy that we use here on the show, what is the meat in your life? What is the organizing principle around everything else revolves?
Wow, you guys are deep.
What's the anchor in your life?
Oh, it's more or less, I would say, the way it's cooked, than more the seasoning.
No. I mean, like, is it faith? Is it family? Is it?
Well, now you've made it impossible because you've thrown out faith and family. If he chooses something else, he's saying it's not faith and family. So aside from faith and family and sneakers, what is the meat? Not real meat.
Figurative meat.
What is the meat that keeps me going in my life? Is that what you're asking me?
Right.
Oh, dude. Man, I was just having this conversation with my therapist a couple of weeks ago.
About
because
meat?
There's always... Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
Adam, I think, has dropped off. Is he still with us?
What? I'm here. I'm just watching you blow up the meat and 3 question again. Because literally, it's been every single episode.
We're in season 4, and we've yet to figure out how to best.
Painful. Yeah, no one can answer the meat and 3 because 1, nobody knows what it is, and 2, people always get confused about what you're talking about.
Let's try this. Hold
let's
on.
keep
Before
watching.
He was
I
about
want
to
keep
answer.
watching.
I found it.
But before he answers it, okay, Hank, there is a type of restaurant out there. It's called a meat and 3. At this restaurant, when you go in, you get a meat and you get 3 vegetables. So we've decided to use that as an analogy, and in asking our guests, What is the meat in your life? The organizing principle by which you structure your life?
Okay. It used to be, I would say it used to be family. My family is more or less the three now. The meat of it is, the therapist was like, we were saying like, what's your why? Like what, if anything, if you couldn't even walk or talk, what's your why that would get you up every day? And then when you look, you think your family's older, your wife is looking at you like you're crazy. And it would be just to see what the world is like. I'm enthused every day to get up to see what the world is doing. You know, how the world is changing. Like the way we go to Mars every 2 days and shit like this. Like how it evolved so fast. That's the meat, the drive. And then my family, you know, God, comedy, stuff like that. I used to be money, you know, as you get older, wealth, security. But as you get older, you see all that stuff it's not tangible.
All right. So I think we have a good sense of that. So then now the question is what are the 3 attributes that you would like people to most closely associate with you?
Spirited, genuine, and honest.
All right.
Those are great.
Those are all good.
And to the point, I'll throw that extra one in.
And to the point. All right. So now, Hank, we do a little rapid fire round. These are icebreaker style questions.
Okay.
Would you like to go? So they are intended to be deep questions, short answers.
Okay.
My question to the guest is, do you prefer to go clockwise or counterclockwise?
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. All right. So for those of us, we're going to pretend Adam is in his regular chair. And we will start with Jamie. First question.
I think you just went clockwise again.
I didn't. You are the 12.
Yeah.
We just did this in a different episode. You are the North Star.
Yeah.
You're always
you were
12
wrong
o'clock.
then. Okay, I'm the North Star.
Yeah.
I'll take that, and I'll go first. What subject should be taught in school but isn't?
Black history.
Which era of history would you choose to live in other than the present?
90s.
You're going to sail around the world. What is the name of your boat?
Big ass trip.
If you could choose your dreams, what would you prefer to dream about?
Sex.
If you had to lose one of your senses, which one would you pick?
Smell.
Have you ever completed anything on your bucket list?
Tell you what it is, or yes or no?
Tell us what it is.
Yes. Comedy killer.
All right, those are our rapid fire icebreaker questions. All right, last thing, Hank.
That's it? Oh, man.
Yeah, that was quick.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's 2 rounds.
No, you did great.
6 questions.
I like how, yeah.
All right.
I have a list of 119 more, though. Would you like me to go run through them, or do you want to move on?
Let's do 26. What y'all got?
All right. If you could see one movie again for the first time, what would it be and why?
Coming to America, so I can erase this shit that they just made.
Oh,
Did you guys watch Coming to America too?
I haven't seen the new one.
I haven't seen it.
I watched the new one.
It was good, but it's just, the first one was iconic.
Better.
What slang are you really happy went out of fashion?
Oh, gosh. All that slang that was in the 80s.
Hey, which fictional character do you wish you could meet?
Oh, Benjamin Button.
If you could magically become fluent in any language, what would it be?
Mandarin.
How do you feel about clowns?
I hate him. I'll shoot a clown if he came in my house like a robber.
Last one, Adam.
Yeah, if you had the ultimate budget and 1 hour to shop, where would you go and what would you buy?
Come on, man. We just talked about this.
Yeah.
I'm going to the flight store in New York, Madison 52nd, and I'm going to the flight store and I'm buying everything in my son's size.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay. Last segment that we do only with our comedian guests. It is something we call broken bits. And it's basically that bit that you like, but for whatever reason can't get to work the way you want to. What would be an example for you of a broken bit?
I need Well, I know. Well, I don't see any of my bits as broken. I just know they need help. The one about pandemic is making people pan different. I only have like 2 tags for it, and it's based on people lying about the pandemic, and they're using the pandemic to make their life seem like it was going worse than it was already going. So, like I say, like my cousin called talking about she put on so much weight during the pandemic, and I'm like, you were fat before the pandemic. Like you were taking pictures of your food on Instagram for the last 3 years. I ain't seen not one vegetable. So what are you talking about? Then it was my cousin talking about how much weed and liquor he's been drinking, but he had a DUI last year and a possession charge, so it's not the pandemic. And then I go into the kids are so stupid when parents are lying about how the pandemic is making their kid dumb, but no, he was kind of a special needs kind of kid before. So, and I don't have nothing else. That's where it drops off. So I feel like it's broken. I don't have anything else.
So it's a bit more like a bit in progress.
Right, but it's like usually I'll have 8 or 9 tags for it, and I can't think anymore.
Can't get any more.
I mean, that kid that's kind of dumb was always virtually a student.
Damn it! Where's my pen?
Jamie loves puns. He loves the puns.
Puns.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, so it's kind of like the person who says, "Oh, I was going to travel so much during the pandemic. You know, I had such big travel plans, but yet they've never really traveled."
Or don't even have a passport. That's another one.
Right. Really, that's basically the bottom line is the pandemic has prevented most people from curating their life in the way that they're accustomed to.
But I'm saying like people were lying too. Like, you know, like, oh, I'm about to start this business. So I got the PPP loan, but then you went and got tattooed or something stupid.
All right. Jamie likes it when I ask if you have any questions for us.
Yeah. Like you guys know each other? Like y'all are buddies?
Does it sound like we don't?
Do y'all know each other? Y'all hang out? Y'all kind of know each other. It kind of don't sound like y'all really kick it.
Well, Bendel and I know each other, but we do this by Zoom. Adam's a hacker, so he just got in.
I just figured out how to get in.
Yeah,
They've never met. We actually played basketball together.
Oh, okay. So that's the feel. Okay.
Yeah.
These are my 2 shooters, and I'm the big man inside.
Okay, that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like we're neighbors. We have beers and hang out. No, it feels more like we play basketball on Saturday.
Actually, we do hang it. Well, we
Our
have to
basketball
evaluate our
is
relationship
more about
because
hanging out. Than it is basketball.
It's more about the beer afterwards. I don't think we need to project our relationship better.
Let me ask you guys this: what do your wives think of this podcast?
If they would listen to it, they might like it.
They don't give a shit. Okay.
No. They're not exactly supportive of it.
Yeah, we say we're going to be out on Tuesdays, and they're like, you should think of some new concepts and maybe take.
If you want to go
Thursday,
drinking with Jamie
Saturday.
and Jamie, you don't have to make up a podcast. That's what my wife says.
She's like, you don't got to make up a podcast to hang out with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so, and I think now that I'm considering your question, it's possible that the podcast is the modern band practice for middle-aged men who don't play instruments.
That's about right.
Yeah, that seems about right. We're just going to go jam.
We're going to go jam. We're just going to go jam. We're going to play.
Jam a little while.
We might have we might get a gig.
Equipment.
Yeah.
Equipment is serious. You know what I mean? You're really writing content, which are like lyrics. So it's like we're really good, and we're hoping we get a hit, or we think we got a good one.
All right, so Hank, I would be remiss if I let you go before we talked about pay teachers more money.
Let's talk about it.
Hank was a chaperone on a school field trip with his son, and afterwards turned on the camera on his phone and unleashed an epic rant about the experience. It went viral. How many views are you up to now?
9, 10 million.
Something like that?
I think 10 million views.
But you actually turned
worldwide.
But you turn those views into actually a whole campaign of raising awareness to what is a really real issue and that is how frequently are the people who are most responsible for our kids' education are woefully underpaid and inadequately supplied,
and highly and very disrespected at the highest level.
I know we've covered a lot of things and we spent a lot of time on the sneakers, but I wanted to make sure that at least people did take the time to go check out all the Pay Teachers More Money stuff. And if you have a school group or a parent association and you want to do something positive for your community and bring some relief to some of these teachers, you do a Teacher Relief Live. And you do all these other programs to leverage your humor talents for good work in the community with our educational system. So.
Yep. Thank you, man, for that plug. It's been a big why. So more than ever, it's been like a lot of shows that I've been doing. It's been eye-opening to people to understand. Like they see it even more now because we've been home and they want to get their kids back in school. But you don't want your kid to actually, your teacher to die in front of your child either. So it's a lot, man. But I mean, we got to do what we got to do. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Hank. And social media handles, you prefer people to find you at or what?
Everything's Hank Denson Comedy, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Or you could just put in hashtag Pay Teachers More Money in your search engine and boom, you got all that Hank Denson stuff flying across your internet. So this is cool. The BHHcast. Is that what it's called? Bah.
All right, man. We'll catch up later. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Hank.
All right, that was Hank Denson, comedian Hank Denson Comedy. Look him up every place. Hashtag Pay Teachers More Money. He is actually very prolific. If you follow him on Instagram, he does some pretty funny videos. Incorporates his family in a lot of the stuff that he does. So I'd encourage people to go check him out. All right, Chief. So that's going to do it for this episode of the BHHcast. We will see you next time. Until then, stay inside the fence, will you?
Seriously, we've had some trouble with the rancher next door. Please stay inside the fence.
Fire is getting low. This episode of the BHHcast is over. Time to go home now, sheep. Go on, back to where you came from. We'll call you back when it's time for another BHHcast. Taka taka.